Sing country and was always really well received by her peers and by the staff and everybody.
Her stage presence, even then, 99, 2000, was very self-assured. There wasn't a lot of banter back and forth between the crowd, not a lot of give and take, but she was very confident and just delivered the songs with a little introduction about usually who wrote the song and who performed this song if it was a cover tune, that sort of thing. And she used to sing a song that I wrote, so that was neat to have her do that live.
Avril's remarkable voice, music and songwriting gifts, combined with a great deal of self-confidence, provided her with the key ingredients of becoming a superstar. And everyone knew about it, particularly her family.
Our families are really excited. My parents are in my family are really excited and happy for me because they know how much I've wanted this, and their parents know they wanted to do this, and everyone's just excited.
I happened to be present at Avril's very first recording studio experience ever, which was just a special moment in time. And her instincts were phenomenal. We did a little sound check and said, okay, we're going to start at the beginning. We might make changes in here, but just go through the song and then we'll work on it. So, we pressed play, she sang the song, and it was just jaw-droppingly perfect. Her instincts were so great, as if she'd been singing professionally for years and years, and I don't know, the intonation was perfect. And at the end, you just pushed the talk back button, and I said, well, Avril, you can do that again if you want, but you don't really have to. Well, Avril's voice was just remarkable. We knew that first night in the studio, this was something special. The engineer and I have done many recording projects together throughout the years, and we just turned to each other and said, we are fortunate to have been here this night. This is the beginning of something. I don't know, her voice just had an authority, a confidence beyond her years. It was just there. This is what I do. I can sing this song, and here's how it goes. So she can take a lyric and make you believe it.
She really had her way of standing out. There's just something special about her. I mean, besides her voice, she's just amazing. She can belt anything out, and I know I've heard stories in the community that she got an opportunity to record a song and she got it her first take, which is something very rare. Usually it takes singers over and over, but that's just the way she was. If she put her heart into it, she was gonna get it.
I think any musical artist, it was just, you have to be unique, and she had that unique voice. She didn't sound like anybody that she was singing the songs for. She sang Shania Twain. She didn't sound like her though. She had her own personal touch to put into the songs. And I think that's really what a big part of where she is now is that she is her own individual person. She doesn't sound like anybody, and she does have her own style of music, which is very good.
I listened to her vocals and sitting out on the couch listening to her sing by herself with an acoustic guitar, you hear the difference than the average really good musician. There's just that extra little bit of magic and emotion and touch in her voice that it isn't in everybody. It's not in everybody.
With the continual backup and support of her parents, the 15-year-old Avril started sending tapes to various record companies in North America. At the same time, her friend and huge fan, Dave Archibald, was so impressed with what he was witnessing that he approached EMI.
I knew this was something special, so I called up a friend of mine at EMI in Toronto, Mike McCarty, who's president of BMI Publishing, I think, in Toronto. And I said, Mike, I don't know, but just remember this name, Avril Lavigne. She's 15 years old, but I think this is a voice that's going to go somewhere. And I think EMI was involved in the initial rounds of trying to sign Avril, but in the end didn't get her. But yeah, I thought she had all the ingredients, because she had the poise and the voice and the look, and just it was all there.
Now aged 16 and having left school, Avril took herself off to New York to get inspired and write. It was there that she attracted the attention of Canadian-based management company Network. They arranged for Avril to meet up with some other songwriters and began work on a demo tape with producer Peter Zizzo. But remarkably, she was signed before she even had the chance to finish it. A representative of Arista Records visited Avril in the studio and was knocked out by her voice and obvious musicality. He returned soon after with the label's head, Antonio L.A. Reid, who was amazed by the discovery. Seeing an inner confidence and will to succeed, he immediately signed the 16-year-old Avril to a contract in the autumn of 2000. Stunned by the sudden interest in her, Avril briefly fled back to Canada, but returned to New York more determined than ever to embark on her professional career. Amazingly, this girl just barely out of school thought nothing of this major upheaval in her life and plunged herself wholeheartedly into the creative process. Avril began working on some tracks, surrounded by an army of technicians and producers. On hearing the first mixes of the sessions, however, Avril put her foot down and kicked up a fuss. She complained that the song sounded too poppy, obviously formulaic with too many programmed drums and no spontaneity. She wanted a rockier, earthier sound, a million miles away from the commercial slush she was hearing. Most importantly, although she'd been signed to Arista as a vocalist, she balked at the thought of singing someone else's songs and insisted on having a hand in the writing process, and amended her contract to allow her to compose her own material. She also rejected suggestions that she should have her teeth bleached and wear something sexier than her trademark outfit of baggy pants, vest and necktie. Although she never considered quitting, she went through a torturous time of stress and uncertainty. Most teenagers on such a handsome contract would have kept their heads down, sucking up to the suits, but not Avril. After throwing a few tantrums in the studio, she took herself off to LA, found new producers and warned them of all her concerns and suspicions. Everyone stared at her as if she was mad, but she got her own way right down the line. Here in LA, Avril found the perfect working conditions, teaming up with producer-songwriter Cliff Magnus. The pair quickly gelled as a creative force and were soon recording the now famous tracks that would make up Avril's first album, Let Go. Within a few months, the songs from the debut album had taken shape and were ready for public consumption. Avril couldn't wait to get her music out to the world. She knew the songs were really strong and didn't sound like anything else that was coming out. Yet, she didn't know if anyone else was going to like it.
I called it Let Go because that's what I felt like I did during the process of making the record. I had to take a big step and leave my family and and my friends and let all that go, and writing all the songs and just getting so much out of me emotionally. I just felt like I let go of that thing.
First time I heard of Avril Lavigne, I was sent a 4-song EP from Terry McBride, who just said, "Look, you've got to hear this girl. She's amazing." And I do remember that Complicated was one of the 4 songs. And I'd love to say I was impressed. I wasn't. I thought it was okay, but I also thought we were almost at the end of that trend of female pop stars, as personified by whether it was Britney or who else it was. And I didn't see the context of it within the 4, to be honest. When I got the package of the marketing plans for the album, it had sort of a breakout and a bio and things like that. I saw these wonderful photographs of her taken, on the streets of New York, and they were quite incredible. And I thought, boy, now this could be interesting.
Eager to capitalise on her newfound fame and acclaim, the Let Go album was unleashed to the public on the 4th of June 2002. Larry was one of the first music journalists to interview her.
Arista in New York was so nervous about putting her with me doing an interview, because at this point she'd basically been going in the radio stations, with her and her guitar player, doing very light interviews and singing a song. They'd never done a serious interview. She was fine. She's actually quite funny. I was very, very, very nervous, very preoccupied.
The first single to be released from the album was the track Complicated. Radio stations quickly picked up on the single, generating a huge buzz that would eventually lead